She used to be an actress.
Has she ever done anything I would have saw?
I think her biggest deal was she starred in a pilot.
What's a pilot?
Well, you know the shows on TV.
I don't watch TV.
Yes, but you're aware that there's an invention called television, and on that invention, the shows.
Yeah.
Well, the way they pick the shows on TV is they make one show, and that show's called a pilot. And then they show that one show to the people who pick shows, and on the strength of that one show, they decide if they want to make more shows. Some get accepted and become TV programs, and some don't and become nothing.
All right.
This is one of the ones that became nothing. Welcome to Couch Pilots, all of my friends. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, and with me is my primetime player. It's Captain Philip Ressisher. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm pretty good.
How you?
How you living?
How you living large?
How you living, fool?
What does living large mean? Like, you got a lot of money?
You're carrying a lot of extra, like winter weight.
There you go.
I'm in the throes of carrying winter weight.
What are you going to do about that?
Nothing.
I've
been eating out a lot less, and I've been cooking a lot more. But sometimes when you cook, like cooking and baking is weird. I don't know why baking just means for bread, and then cooking is maybe everything else. But I baked a sheet cake, and then I ate it.
The whole it's like if you're living by yourself, which I mean mostly you do. Besides your,
I shouldn't be making sheet cakes.
No, you should be making the little bun cakes.
Well, I have I'm cleaning out everything. I'm going stir crazy at home, so I'm going through all my cabinets, all my closets, and I do this a lot. But I don't know. I think it's that might be how my obsessive compulsive disorder manifests. Is it the constant influx of things and the reorganizing of them in my household?
Sure.
But
so do you like look at it and like hold it up and go?
Hold up to the light.
Does this bring me joy?
Yeah, and I see if does it bring me joy, and is there a watermark on it? I hold it up to the light.
And then, can I sell this on Facebook Marketplace?
Which is it slowed down for me quite a bit, but I had a nice little run. I'm still going to go at it for things I think I can maybe get a few bucks for. Just
sure.
Take it to Goodwill for what?
Right. So
yeah, maybe I'll make a few.
So my mom can buy it.
Yeah, maybe we'll cut the middleman. I'll just take it right to your mom's house.
Right.
But no, I was going through the cabinets, and included with the stuff is also food. And I'm like, what food am I not eating? And sure enough, there's a couple packages of cake mix, enough to fill a whole sheet.
There you go. We have that problem of not eating what we have.
Yeah.
And just going, oh, it's Friday. I have to order my groceries.
Yep.
Without even looking at it.
Oh, so you guys are ordering groceries online and going to pick them up?
Yeah.
Wow.
We would do that before the pandemic.
Fancy.
But yeah, and so there's a lot of times like, oh, why do I have, 7 cans of corn?
Yeah.
We haven't cooked at home in 2 weeks.
And then you got to look up online before it expires, like how what do you do with a can of corn? How do you make it into a meal that you want to eat?
Throw it up in the air, and a baseball player catches it.
A baseball player
can of corn.
Was that? I don't know. Is that a reference to something?
Yeah, when a batter hits the ball, it like goes straight up in the infield. And
they call it a can of corn.
Can of corn.
I didn't know that. You're always teaching me.
You know what? That's what I'm here for.
Yep.
At my age, that's all I have left to do is teach the younger folk how to live.
Yeah, a lot of wisdom.
Huh?
You have a lot of wisdom.
I'm seeping with it.
Wisdom comes partly from age, but mostly to those who open their mind and sometimes their body to experiences.
Yeah, you got to experience life. You can't just wait for life to experience you. You got to experience
life's
life.
Not going to come up.
Hello, this is life here.
And I don't know where life is from or why life has that accent, but sure enough, they're not going to do that. You have to go out there and experience it yourself. And to me, it sounds like you had a hell of an experience recently.
Yeah, I did. Well, I had a couple experiences. We went on, my wife's Christmas present was a weekend getaway to the casino, and I couldn't say no to her.
Mm-hmm. And she wanted you, like, it was part of it was you going with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was part of it. So we went up to Iowa because at that time our casinos were closed. Mm-hmm. So we stayed 2 nights. And
Iowa, where you're really free.
Sure, yeah.
Where you're
I
really
mean,
free.
you know what? That's what the GPS says. Like when you cross the bridge, welcome to Iowa, where you're really free.
There's fireworks going off, and little Twizzlers. Hey, what did was anyone wearing masks in Iowa?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah. For the most part, everybody in the casino for sure.
Okay.
Everybody, except if you were drinking or smoking. So that for the most part, everybody behaved on that.
So you're there for what? 2 days?
Yeah, Friday night to Sunday morning.
Nice. And what did you do?
We just went from one casino back to the other one, back to the other one. Really, that's why the weekend cost me so much is because I didn't plan other stuff for us to do.
Yeah.
You know, besides,
What else is there to do?
well, I mean, we went to the mall and walked around that.
Is this the Quad Cities?
Yeah, Bettendorf.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's Bettendorf, Rock Island, Moline, and a fourth one.
Yeah,
What's the fourth one?
I don't know.
Gillespie?
Gillespie, Iowa. Yep.
That sounds good. Did you ever see a movie called? You haven't seen a lot of movies. It was a movie called Indecent Proposal.
No,
You know what it's
I
about?
know what it's about. It's where they're in Vegas and the
I
old
think it's Robert Redford.
Robert Redford. He offers money for Dennis Quaid's wife to have sex with him or something.
I think it's Woody Harrelson and Demi Moore.
Yes,
and-
that's what. Yeah,
And
that's,
it's like, hey, you're a couple of young chickens. You got married. You want how about you? You want some money? And they're like, I would love some money. And he says, I am a rich man, and I will give you guys $1 million for one night with your lady. And you know what he means when he says
yeah.
that.
We'll play pinochle.
Right. You get pinochle
Canasta.
better. You hear that joke?
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. So I guess my question is to you is, did you guys experience any kind of indecent proposals while did someone come up to you and offer you X amount for an evening with your wife?
No,
A gift card for a hand job?
no.
Did anyone come up to Molly and ask for an evening with you?
See, I wouldn't know because we didn't really spend a lot of time together.
Was that part of the deal?
Well, no, she doesn't like to. She doesn't like to gamble together, like sit at a machine together and gamble. She wants to do her own thing, and then you run out of money, or she runs out of money, and you find the other person, and you bitch and moan about losing the money, and then come up with more money and do it again.
Well, why do you not do it together? Does she feel like she wants to just spread out a little bit? Maybe that'll better your chances, or she just is something like she likes to do
She
by
wants
herself?
to experience that herself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Some people get very superstitious.
Sure.
I'm only mildly stitious, as has been previously recorded. So I wouldn't think like, you have to be X amount of feet away from me so we can cover more ground. That increases our chances. Who cares? It's about having fun. Did you guys have fun?
We had a nice time. We had a really good dinner on Saturday night. We had a really bad dinner on Friday night, but we had a really good dinner on Saturday night. I saw the first bite she took. I saw my wife make a face of enjoyment and pleasure that I've never seen before, ever.
You mean like ever?
Yeah, no, seriously, like,
Oh my goodness.
never.
Well, what was she eating?
Some kind of salmon thing. It had a funky name, like it was like a pile of stuff. It was powie or something. I don't know.
That does sound good.
It was
Especially the way you're describing it.
it was gross.
What did you
I had a
have?
steak.
Did they have high quality
Like
chicken
a fucking
fingers
man.
there?
I had a steak.
Steak? Well, how do you get your steak cooked?
Well, I usually get it medium well, but right now I'm at the point in my life where I'm just getting it medium from now on.
Yeah?
I'm just getting it medium. I'm just gonna. You say medium well, it just gets too dry.
I do rare, medium rare.
Yeah.
I like that pink in the middle. High five
I
it.
bet-
But it's also like, it almost does kind of like melt in your mouth. Cause
Sure.
The more you get cooked, the more you're just chewing.
Right, and you're taking away all the flavoring.
Yes.
So yeah.
Oh, I like.
I'm not afraid of unhealthy like diseases from not finished steak anymore.
What are you afraid of, Blake?
What am I afraid of? Oh, I definitely am afraid of heights. Do not like them.
What about failure? Are you afraid of
Oh,
failure?
I hate the failures.
Are you afraid of rejection?
No, I'm used to rejection.
Space aliens?
No,
That's my fear. That's my number one fear.
that's not mine.
Being abducted by a space alien. I watched too many Fox specials in the 90s. It really warped my mind.
You think that's going to happen?
Who's to say it hasn't already? I'm just waiting to like,
For your body to crack open and like it start to ooze out a being,
yeah,
and you're like, oh, that's why my butt hurt for so long.
yeah. I think that's part of it. Or like, I could just be walking down the aisle. I don't order my food ahead.
Dun, dun,
That's not what I
dun.
meant at all. Good lord. Get the grocery aisle.
Wouldn't that be the greatest? The one time when the alien finally reveals himself is as you're walking down the aisle to your wedding.
I would set it up before. I would set it up. I would like halfway down the aisle. I don't know why the man's walking down the aisle, but how about or he, whoever I decide. They're walking halfway down the aisle. I just look up in the heavens where the space aliens would be. I gave them a little wink, bink, and then there I explode into a beam of light and goo.
And you're like, and then you get on the ship and you go, "Whew,
thanks, guys."
That was close.
And then I bend over and spread them.
And as their best man, I would have been standing right next to you, of course, and I would have been like, "Damn it! The speech was going to be great."
Oh, I thought you had been like, yeah, that seems right.
Well, yeah.
I think that I won a bet.
It wasn't so much I was astonished that it happened. It was just that I got ruined my chance to give the best man speech.
I think we could still do it to where you give the speech. I think there's a way for both of us to win here.
What would you do on a spaceship in space? Like to pass the time?
I think I would.
There's no garage sales in space.
That's true. Well, yes and no. This is what I think. If a species is so advanced that they're cruising through the universe and the galaxia, they probably have the technology to like just make me live in like a Matrix kind of world,
right?
You know, so
right.
I wouldn't be in the spaceship just walking around and going to planets and kicking moon rocks. I'd be like laying on a slab somewhere with my mind.
Oh, your mind doing everything, and you just laying there.
Yeah, my mind's doing something awesome. You know, like I'm a professional rock star going on tour,
as opposed to a non-professional rock star.
Yeah, I don't like those amateur, right? You know what I hate too? I hate amateur wrestling at the Olympics. Give me professional wrestling at the Olympics, right?
Well, for me, it's like once you become a rock star,
yeah.
It's not really a professional rock star.
Amateur is you just do it to practice, you don't get paid,
right?
Like an intern.
Yeah, an intern star.
I'd love to get either of those levels, but in my mind in outer space, I think I'd be a professional rock star.
Oh, that's awesome.
As they're often called.
You know what? And the look on your face when we started discussing, the aliens stealing you from your wedding,
right,
and living as a rock star on a cold steel slab, the joy in your face. It's a twinkle I haven't seen in a while.
It's truly a Calgon situation. Won't you please take me away? Yeah. Take me away from this. Good Lord. So that's one weekend.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
And then it was a separate weekend. It was a different weekend.
Yeah, it was a different weekend. And so this past weekend, I went to Rushville, Illinois, where my grandparents, where I kind of grew up. My grandparents lived there for quite a few years when I was young.
Where is that? I am going to guess it's east of Springfield.
Southwest.
So like
Beardstown, Cuba.
Oh, so it's awful.
Oh yeah,
this town's awful.
It was, it's it's not awful, but it's a podunk town.
It sounds awful.
And we had the district moose meeting, which I went to, and then we also had the district legionnaires meeting where I was inducted into the Legion.
Do you ever get Legionnaire's disease?
Often.
You do?
I did.
Deadly.
I had it the next day. That's why we couldn't record the next day. I had
God.
Legionnaire's disease.
That's why we postponed the record?
Yeah.
Well, Legionnaire's disease is very deadly. It's a bacteria that can is often
travels
found
in water, right?
Yeah, it's often found like in hot tubs and stuff.
Yeah.
You get that, and my God, you're gonna have a hell of a time.
The UAW, like old folks home here in Pekin, had an outbreak of it.
Oh yeah, you don't want that. You don't want to mess with Legionnaire's disease. So this district meeting, does it jump around to different locations?
Yeah,
or
it's like a quarterly. So every quarter, every meeting, a different town. Different moose lodge holds.
So hopefully you won't have to go back to Rushville for a long time.
Oh, I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
Yeah.
And then, but the fun is on the way back because you get there. It takes you an hour and a half to get there.
Oh my God!
It took me 6 hours to get back.
Why is that?
Well, bar hopping on the way back.
All the small towns.
Yeah.
Did you guys have it planned out, or you just go to the next town and say, "Let's find a bar"?
This route has been taken many a time, so they know which bars are at.
You know, Peoria is a metropolitan area,
sure,
whether people want to admit it or not. But outside are a lot of small towns like Cuba and Rushville. And in those small towns, it's often people say, fucking smoke in the bar. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
People are saying, oh, you gotta wear a mask in here.
Oh, yeah. That was... we went to one bar, and it was like it was outside of Rushville, outside like the city limits and everything. And it was just like, it looked like two trailers like butted up together.
Hell yeah.
And it was called the Lake because it's right next to the lake, and it's like a big duck hunting and deer hunting like place where the guy. And I was talking to this. I walk in, it's super dark,
pitch black.
Well, not pitch black. It was like 12:30 in the afternoon. but it was very, very dark. And the bartender's sitting drinking a beer, smoking a cigarette. There's like 3 or 4 people at the bar smoking cigarettes. I'm like, oh, this is heaven for me.
Yeah, that's great.
And we were there for a little bit, and I was talking to a guy who owned it. It was an old guy. He owned it for like 5 years. He goes, yeah. He goes. I said, oh, I was really surprised to see people smoking in here. He's like, cops don't ever come around here unless you ask them to or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the health department doesn't either.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. He's like, when I owned this place, he goes, you took care of business yourself. I was like, oh, well, like, you got a baseball bat, in case things got rowdy. He goes,
can of corn.
He goes, yeah, a can of corn, cream corn, and then he said, I'm not going to say I didn't have a firearm behind that. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Sure, you got to be careful. You don't know.
I was, it was a good time. Luckily, I wouldn't have wanted to go there like on a Friday night, like 10:30. I wouldn't want to be there.
Yeah.
But I had my camouflage jacket on, so I kind of fit in. Nobody really gave me any shit. Then we went to another bar called Wanda's Little Vegas in Forest City, Illinois.
Okay, I think I have heard of Forest City. Is it out by Moline?
I could not.
Not Moline.
No.
What's that? Manitou.
Yeah. It's yeah. And there was like 15 pickup trucks in the parking lot. 4 of them had 4-wheelers in them. One of the girls that was with us, she stepped out of the truck and she stepped in horse manure.
Did someone ride a horse?
We didn't see the horse, but it was definitely not
so there's
person.
feral horse just running around dropping big loads on the sidewalk.
I guess so. And we went in there, and of course, there was a huge Trump sign indoors.
Yeah.
So, there was people that didn't have all their teeth. No big deal, whatever. They just, everybody, some good old boys and girls and stuff. So I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Go in the bathroom, flip on the light, go to the urinal, and look up, and there's this poster. And I'll show you a picture later.
Okay.
I would put it on our Instagram, but it would get taken off. Of these 4 girls, like on their hands and knees, and you're standing behind them with lips just a wagging in the wind.
Now, when you mean lips, you mean labia minora and labia majora.
Yes.
Now, labia minora is a Jewish term for a candle holder, I believe. Is that right?
You could have held a couple. Yankee candles in some of these.
I know what you're talking about because you're probably pretty drunk, and you sent me the picture of it. It's on my phone right now. I didn't save it, but it's in my text message.
I wasn't really drunk. I really did pretty well.
Yeah.
Then we left that bar, and we went to like Diana's Bar and Gaming in Manitou. Had one there, nothing was really going on there, and then we went back to the Moose. So we were back to the Moose by like 5:30. I was home by 6:30, 7 o'clock.
But you were. This is also like some sort of ceremony or something, right? You were inducted.
Well, I was accepted and went through the ceremony to be a part of the Moose Legion.
And what does that mean? It's kind of like the Army Reserves.
It's like the next tier up.
Mm-hmm. So but if the United States gets involved in some sort of foreign conflict, you can be called upon to serve your country?
No, these men are way too old to do that.
What do they do? What is the
they do fundraisers and stuff for Moose Heart and Moose Haven. They're like they are the group that basically started them and basically funds them.
But nothing to do with going overseas with a Kalashnikov.
No.
Okay.
So,
That's
fine.
I
just had a good time.
It sounds like you've had a great couple of weeks.
Except about 2:00 in the morning. That's when all bad stuff happened.
You got all the blood farts?
Oh, I started. I had a really, 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 really intense heartburn. Mm-hmm. So I went in the living room and sat up and laid down sitting up. Yeah. And it kind of went away. But then at about 4:00, I started sweating like profusely.
It's the middle of winter. You shouldn't be sweating.
Right. And I threw up over and over. Disease. Yeah. And then. And this whole time, my stomach was just like...
You got to drink apple cider vinegar with the mother. You ever heard that before? With the mother? I think it has something to do with, like, don't pasteurize or strain this. Like, the mother is, like, all the, like, nutrients.
Like you would get from her tit?
Yeah. Like you suck the tit of an apple. So, I think you need apple cider vinegar to calm your stomach, and then stay out of the hot tub, man. You're getting that Legionnaire's disease.
And then it all came out the other end for the rest of the day.
The butt end.
What?
The Jewish menorah end.
Yeah. I had a Yankee Candle up there trying to stop things.
God, man. Holy Lord. That's how you punctuate a segment.
Call me Captain Transition.
For a couple of reasons. Today we discuss the pilot episode of the Chevy Chase National Humor Test from the year of our Lord 1979. Great year.
1979, I was 4 years old.
This is one of those transition periods where you're alive.
And you're dead.
Are you dead before you're alive?
I think so.
So am I like a corpse somewhere? Am I like a rotting...
Well, no, you're like a little fishy egg in your daddy's ball sack.
But dead.
Well, if he shoots you out onto like a napkin or something, then you're dead.
Oh, God, I'm glad that did... Well, did it happen? I don't understand your logic. I am dead, though, before I'm alive. And after. There's a millennia before and after, and this little sliver in the middle, I'm alive.
Because I believe in reincarnation. I think you were a
professional rock star before I was born.
Yeah, that's why you want to go back to that.
Who
I could see you as a basket weaver.
Yeah. I love baskets. Hey,
great show.
Oh, it's great. Like, I can't believe it only ran 4 seasons. Hey, what do you think you were before you were born, like reincarnated?
I was a neurotic, manic depressive adult.
And you did something, obviously, where you're doomed to repeat that over and over again.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm afraid of heights.
Given your current state.
Illinois? Yeah, it is rough right now.
God bless the USA is what I always say. Let's go back in time to 1979 in our minds. And we'll do so by talking about things that happened that year so we can properly understand, process, and regurgitate information related to the Chevy Chase National Humor Test.
Let's do it.
That's one of the longest titles we've had.
It is quite a long title.
What's Going On with Mike Mitchell? That's 6. We did that one. Remember that one?
Spoiler alert, they're about the same.
That is 6. They're both 6.
666.
Yeah, sign of the beast. February 1st of 1979, Ayatollah Khomeini returns to Tehran, Iran, after nearly 15 years of exile. The rock and roll Ayatollah, professional rocker. Have you ever been exiled? Like, is there something that you could do at the Moose? They say you are now exiled.
Oh yeah, you can get suspended for 30 days.
Do you know somebody who's been suspended?
Yeah.
What did they do?
Being very, very vulgar to staff and threatening to customers.
Probably something to do with the Yankee Candle too.
That kid that tried to have sex in the bathroom of the Moose.
Yeah.
I could have got him suspended for 30 days.
Well, I remember that story. It was him, and then like his friend and a girlfriend came in, right, or something.
Well, originally it was him, then him and his girlfriend, and then they went and got his friend, and then that's when
They're trying to funk in the bathroom, though.
Yeah. I don't. That's nasty.
You ever done that?
I don't like. Yes.
Yeah.
The Chantilly lace.
Yeah.
But
great place.
But that had different. I had different morals and values back then.
And you weren't a member of Chantilly Lace. Well, I hope you never get exiled from the Moose. I know it's the most important thing in your life.
Well, not the most important, but
it's. I mean,
well, and also just to kind of go off topic for a minute.
Please.
A couple months, elections are coming up.
Oh, are you running?
Can't because I'm an employee.
Is that? I mean, you're smiling and nodding?
Yeah.
So you're happy. You don't want to run.
I don't want to run.
If you weren't an employee, would someone be like, "Hey"?
Oh yeah, no. The former governor was talking to me about it Sunday, and that's when my boss was with us. Reminded him that I couldn't be on the board because I was an employee.
Well, here's something I don't think I've ever asked.
Tips.
Give me some of them tips. How many members are there of your specific location? Can I make a guess?
Sure.
35,000.
I don't think that many. Just for the Pekin Moose?
Right.
The closest one is Farmington or Bloomington?
Oh, 30,000.
No.
What do you? What's the
Not
number?
anymore. I mean, I'd say there's probably 3,000 to 5,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just of your location?
Yeah.
But how many of those people are truly active?
About 150 of them.
So you got 3,000 to 5,000 people who are paying annual fees and have almost nothing to do with the place whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like being a member of a fitness club.
It's a lot like that for a lot of people.
Wow, I need to start something like that.
They're like, I love this golf tournament every year.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay $50 a year and keep my membership current so I can play in that golf tournament.
Ah, it's bad. It's coming up. I can't make it.
That's why me and Molly originally signed up is so we could play in the Moose Bowling tournament.
Well, this is incredible.
Sorry, I derailed this.
No, you and I need to start some sort of organization or club where, because like
fraternity.
Yeah, I like that even better.
That's what we're
We'll write the script to Old School 2, and then they'll say, this would never happen, and they'll say, we lived it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
sorry.
But that's what we need to do. We need to come up with some sort of monthly payment thing. Because, you know, if at a Planet Fitness, right? If every member showed up just once a week, the place couldn't accommodate it.
Right.
But they just keep raking in $10, $20 a month from people forever because they're too lazy. Because you call up and say, I want to cancel. It's like, you have to come down here and French kiss my manager. It's like, I'm not coming down there. I might kiss him, but I'm not coming down there.
Right, he's got to come over here.
Yeah, it's like, he doesn't go to your place. You come to us. And people
you say, I rarely come in public. Hey-o.
Oh, boy, Chantilly Lace. February 1st, former Sex Pistols bassist Sid Vicious is released on bail after undergoing a 55-day forcible detoxification program at Rikers Island Prison.
Wasn't he the lead singer?
Sid Vicious, was he?
I thought he was.
I can't remember. Who's the other guy still alive? They're all little shits.
Sex Pistols, right? You said?
Yeah, I gotta look it up because I can't.
Those guys were just like dirty drug users, right? Like sharing needles and shit. That kind of drug. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were. I don't even know if they were really good musicians or not, but they had the style, you know.
Sure,
they had the look.
They hit a spot, you know, like at that time, punk music was booming or just starting to boom, and in punk music, you really didn't have to be a good musician. You
had to look,
you had to scream,
you had the attitude.
You played 3 chords.
Johnny Rotten is who I was thinking. He's the guy who's still. He's probably literally 60 years old. But he acts like an asshole and a little snot still. It's like,
sure.
It wasn't cute 30 years ago, Johnny Rotten.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, Sid Vicious was the guy who's like Sid and Nancy, right? His girlfriend was Nancy. She's like the Oko of the group. And she, like, they both died, and they think that he killed her. But, I think what happened is he took so many drugs that he killed her. And then was like,
oh, shit, and then killed himself? And
he didn't realize she was dead. I can't remember if he died right away or a few days later. But, yeah, totally. I don't know how tragic it was. Anyway. I don't know. I don't mind punk music. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. February 7th, Nazi criminal Joseph Mengele suffers a stroke and drowns while swimming in Bertioga, Brazil. His remains are found in 1985.
Oh, weird.
You ever heard that name before? Huh? Joseph Mengele? Joseph Mengele, like one of the top guys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's like Hitler, Mengele, and like a few other guys. But
oh, really?
Mengele was. It's weird because you want to say he's the worst human being ever. Because what Joseph Mengele would do is he would take people, like human beings, and he would do experiments on them.
Okay.
Like something you hear in a fucking nightmare or a horror movie.
Right.
Like that was him. Like he
did it with
Jewish
pride.
people. Yeah.
With pride.
And he would say, you know what I'm really interested in is identical twins. And so he would gather up like Jewish identical twins and just do horrible things. But this is what I'll say. There is no excuse for what that man did. But after the war, I think America and some other countries took some of these
information. Not
only his information, but other like German scientists, and we took those people. And I'm sure like we've made huge advances because of what he did. But it's like
the way he got to it.
It's a fucking like living nightmare
right.
Some of these people went through. And the fact that this guy lived until 1979.
Yeah.
We're talking 35 years after he survived and escaped to Chile and Brazil. Like a lot of people went to South America after that. A lot of the Nazis went to South America. And it's insane that this person was allowed to live that long.
Right.
They should have fucking chopped him in half.
Yeah. Somebody should have got him.
Oh, good Lord. And he had a stroke. He's probably having like a leisurely swim in somewhere in this beautiful Bertioga, Brazil.
Yeah, probably looking at the coral, swimming around looking at the coral.
Someone should have stomped his head in at age 35
You'd think so.
Oh, Christ. That's upsetting. Anyway, why do we choose to watch the Chevy Chase National Humor Test?
Whose transition was better, listeners? 3 pillars. 1, it was a pilot TV show that never went to series. Whether it aired or not was irrelevant. Number 2, it had to be available on the interwebs. Woo! And number 3, baby, it had to be free, baby.
Awesome!
Thank you.
That's exactly right. Where
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. The Ms.
Mister, please.
The Ms.
My dad is Ms. Jason. I'm Mister. All right. You can find the entire episode of the Chevy Chase Humor Test by subscribing to Couch Pilots and SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube, Blake.
You know what to do, too.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
That bumper, we've played it so much that we've kind of wore it out. Like at the beginning, it kind of gargles. Like
Yeah.
It's like a record, like a tape that you rewind too much.
I think the promise of digital content is that wouldn't happen.
Right.
But you can say whatever you want when something's new and you just created it. But
I-
20 years later, yeah, that shit wears down.
There's like a couple files on that board. I think they're getting just like you hear weird stuff either before or after it.
Well, let's listen to a couple real quick.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's see. Tell me if this one sounds war to you. How's that sound?
It's pretty good considering it's probably recorded from like 1970s TV.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not bad. I'll give that a B.
Okay. Let's see. What about this one?
Again, that's an old classic. They didn't have good recordings back then. But it's a milky. Definitely, I'd call that a milky C.
Yeah. I dated a girl who had some Milky C's.
Ooh, nice. I'm going to give this a digital A. I mean, this is crisp, clear.
All three of those, oddly enough, game shows.
Yeah.
And a little foreskin. That's right. Just a little bit of foreskin.
4 scores and 7 beers ago.
Just a little
By the way, I'm still on my first beer from 4 o'clock, and it's almost 2.5 hours.
I feel
Who
like...
has pride in me?
I was going to say, I feel like as happy as excited I was earlier talking about being a professional rock star in outer space, I feel like I just saw the same look of accomplishment in you.
Yeah. Baby steps, man.
That's got to be like boiling hot beer at this point, though, right?
It's not tasty.
Why are you drinking it? Drink a tasty beer. Drink one of these Dale's
Nope.
Pale Ale.
No.
It's from Oscar Blues Brewery. Pal Al.
Chevy Chase.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about Chevy Chase. What do you think about him?
Okay, well, I looked it up because I do this once in a while. I like to find the net worth of people.
Oh, can I guess?
Yeah.
Chevy
Did you already look it up? No. Be honest.
I do look up a lot of net worths.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't look his, and even if I did, I wouldn't remember it. I'm gonna guess Chevy Chase has a net worth of $25 million.
$50 million. I was really surprised.
Literally twice the amount I said.
But I was thinking almost like, okay, because obviously by the title I knew the Chevy Chase was in this, and I was like, okay, what can I pull of my Chevy Chase bank? Okay, used to watch a lot of old Saturday Night Lives.
Is this the same bank that you use to spank?
Oh yeah, it's all the same bank.
So Chevy Chase is in the spank bank somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. No judge. Hey, I mean, sure, a little bit of judgment, but go ahead.
A little bit of judgment in my life. And I'm thinking, okay, what else? Okay, Caddyshack.
Right.
Okay, and I'm like, Curb Your Enthusiasm, I think, right?
I don't think he's on that.
I thought he was on there as an old man. And I was thinking, okay.
Ted Danson was on there a little bit.
I'm thinking maybe Arrested Development.
I don't know that he was on that either.
So basically I was like, okay, I know this name, but I really can't pull a lot. Ampoon's Vacations. That's what I remember him from.
The vacation movie, yeah.
Clark Griswold.
Correct.
That's where and I think that's where most of his money has come from, right?
Yeah. I mean, he starred in a lot of movies besides Vacation.
Oh.
Like he had a lot of films that he was in. So I would say between that and some of his TV work, sure.
But I like I said, I remember him for Saturday Night Live. I just remembered him as the tall guy that wanted to have long hair but was balding on top. So
yeah,
and now he looks horrible. And just recently, like some girl was like, "Hey, he said dirty stuff to me and tried to harass me recently."
Well, he is very old.
Like a page from SNL or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I have not heard that. I wouldn't doubt it. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's 77.
Oh, sure.
He's very old. This is what I think about Chevy Chase. Widely hated among his peers.
Okay.
Like, he is not a very well-liked man. I've heard I've heard several comedians, maybe most notably and most frequently, Mark Maron. He would say years ago when they were doing all those, every 5-6 months they'd do a roast on Comedy Central. They said they did a roast of Chevy Chase, and they said you go and you turn on the roast of Chevy Chase, and everyone's speaking, roasting him. None of them were his contemporaries. They were all younger people because no one wanted to go to Chevy Chase.
Really?
No one likes Chevy Chase. None of these people were his friends. None of these people had starred in films with him.
Do we know why they don't? He's
just an asshole.
Just an asshole.
He's just
arrogant.
a cocky asshole.
Yeah. And you kind of got that from this pilot.
Sure. Well,
I don't want to.
Here's some more of what I have to say about Chevy Chase.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Sorry.
You sorry?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Chevy Chase, he is when he is on. He's when he was young, very handsome. I think Chevy Chase is a very handsome guy. He's very cocky. Okay. I think Chevy Chase is a great comedic actor.
Okay.
But that's it. He's the Robert De Niro of comedy.
I got you.
Because when you see Robert De Niro in a film to cinema, you're like, God damn, he's dramatic acting the shit out of this film. It's like, you know what I would love to see? I want to see an interview with Robert De Niro talking about this, and then you hear the interview like, he's a fucking retard.
Right.
I say Robert De Niro is a fucking retard. When you hear him talk, he's like an empty vessel, which are some of the best actors are empty vessels.
Right.
Same thing with Chevy Chase. He had his own talk show. It only lasted a few weeks, I think, and it was pulled because it was awful. You don't want casual Chevy Chase. You don't want improv Chevy Chase. You don't want interview Chevy Chase. He sucks at those things, just like Robert De Niro. But what he is good at is if you give him some good material, some comedic material,
He can come alive.
he's good.
Yeah.
He's very good. But I think Johnny Carson famously once said Chevy Chase couldn't improvise a fart after eating a bowl full of chili.
Wow, really?
Yeah, which is a pretty mean thing to say.
Oh, yeah.
But turns out pretty accurate.
That's cool.
Anyway.
Way to go.
Carson.
Carson.
Way to go. Anyway, Chevy Chase, great comedic actor, grade A asshole, and one of my favorite characters on the NBC television show from just a few years ago, Community.
Oh, that's what it was from. I just got the wrong name of it.
He's great on that.
Okay.
He is so
because somebody
funny.
wrote it for him, right? That's just another example.
Oh yeah, that was like Dan Harmon and a bunch of other geniuses wrote that shit, and but he was great on it. He was perfect. But yeah, he had problems on that show with people because people don't like him.
Right.
He's an old man. He's past his prime, and
Man, I'm glad we don't have that problem. Me and you.
Oh, yeah, we'll never be past our prime. You remember our suicide pact?
Yep.
Yeah, we're gonna stick to that shit, right?
Hell yeah.
What's that?
No.
You don't know.
Summary of the pilot: NBC special starring Chevy Chase to examine humor across the genres via a test. Guests include Milton Berle, Dr. Joyce Brothers, Pam Dauber, Christopher Guest, Hugh Hefner, Martin Mull, and Harry Shearer.
Fact.
Well, that was an interesting fact. So it's just a summary.
Oh, that was a summary. Sorry, I'm off my game.
That's fine.
All that money I lost 2 weeks ago.
You may need to drink more beers to be back on your game.
Yeah. A bunch of people write in. Can Solar Blake quit doing the podcast?
Yeah. Sober Blake sucks. Give us regular Blake. You know, the drunk one.
I'd give that one I would give that one a B.
Interesting fact.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Interesting Facts. This is the part of the show where Jason has scoured the internet. Woo to find facts about this show that you may not know. Please don't taint anyone else's experience. Keep your comments to yourself, absorb them, live with them, and be one with them. Amen.
This is broken. I think it's worn out.
Is that file warped? Yeah, that file sounds warped.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
Ooh, boy, this thing's warped. So, did you leave it out in the sun? Did you put it in the backseat of your car?
Yeah.
With a VHS player and some vinyl? Interesting facts. Though originally only signed on as a writer, Chevy Chase would rise to massive stardom on Saturday Night Live and leave that program after only one season to star in Hollywood films, but he wouldn't abandon television completely. Prior to leaving SNL, he signed with NBC for several primetime specials, this being one of them. Fact.
That's a fact. I did not know that he was only there for 1 year. It just seemed like it was, 2 or 3, but 1 year.
Only one. And then
he got so arrogant and so cocky and just was rocketed into stardom. He's like, I'm taking the cash cow now.
a lot of those people who wrote on SNL in the early days and who were on the show, they were parts of other people's, like the Lemmings, the Lemmings and the Groundlings, and all these people who kind of circulated around New York and stuff, and they did a lot of live shows and radio programs and worked with the National Lampoon with like Doug Kinney and the Caddyshack and Animal House guys, all that, and so they had been working together, a lot of those people for a long time, like 5-10 years. And so I don't know, maybe I think it was a lot of like, oh, I'm very popular, I will go and do that. But they it's not like they was just 1 year and they were gone. They had worked together a lot.
Sure.
Anyway, this aired May 10th, 1979. Fact.
It's pretty much a fact.
Of course, stars Chevy Chase, which you may know from Caddyshack, the Vacation series of films, and again, it was what I recently mentioned, the television program known as Community Fact.
Fact.
Do you want to take a nap? Should we take a little bit of a nap? Want to take a nap? Yeah. Take a little nap with me.
With you?
What?
That sounded creepy. You said you want to take a little nap with me.
No, I think you're hearing something. I just been playing Jazz 1.
Oh, that was creepy.
Do you remember what you labeled these files?
Oh, no.
This one, I can't see the whole title, but it says Jazz 1 - please. What would it say after that? Why would it say please? All right. Well, wait. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back from your nap. Wasn't with me.
Wasn't me.
Also stars Pam Dauber. You may know her from Mork and Mindy, the film to cinema Stay Tuned, and Swan Lake.
Pam Dauber, sexy.
Fact.
Sexy.
Sexy. Fact.
I thought when she was on Mork and Mindy, she was sexy. You know what I mean?
She looked better here, you think?
It looked a little younger.
Mm-hmm. Is that better or not?
Well, yeah. I mean, her like on Mork and Mindy, she had very like glistening long brown hair. It seemed kind of fuzzy.
Glistening, just dipped in water and put on camera.
Like the wrestlers when they come out from backstage,
Oiled up.
Oil.
Whose job is it to oil up Pam and get her out there?
Come on, Pam.
Take one, action. Some of the heavy hitters on this pilot are Martin Mull, Milton Berle, Harry Shearer, and Christopher Guest. End of interesting facts.
I have a question.
Yeah.
On the summary, it says something about Hugh Hefner. Did I miss him?
Well,
or was he?
This is what I think. It aired on television, hour-long program. So it's probably like 45 minutes, 45, 50 minutes.
Like cut it.
The show that we watched, I believe, was over almost 34 minutes. So I think there are chunks missing. Probably Hugh Hefner is one of those chunks. Anyway, Twitter responses.
Twitter responses. I wonder if Jason got some Twitter responses.
Twitter response. Yeah, we did. So this is what we do with the Couch Pilots program. We take a look at the pilots that we're watching, and we contact the writers, directors, producers, creators, and the actors of the program. We say, greetings from the Couch Pilots program. We talk about TV shows that had only one episode. Next up for us is the National Humor Test. We're excited to watch, and we're wondering if you had any fun or interesting info you want to share. Thanks!
Hope to hear from you.
And so one of the people who's, a comedic legend, no doubt, and someone we've actually heard from before, a fella goes by the name of Harry Shearer, replied, and he said, because the question is, fun and interesting info you want to share, and he said, if that's the Chevy Chase special, if that's the special Chevy Chase did, rather, yes. That's what he said to me.
Awesome.
I was like, oh, that's great. And I said, yes, sir, that's the one. And then he never contacted me again. So.
Do you think he got busy? Or do you think you,
no, I don't
somehow,
think he did.
You think he'd already tweeted us back one time before?
He did, for The Simpsons. When we talked, we did a season a while back.
You know what, he probably was like, I don't want to comment on this because everybody fucking hates Chevy Chase. He just recently was in the news about, saying being inappropriate to a girl. So maybe this Harry Styles was like, I'm backing off.
But you know Harry Shearer, right?
Yeah, I know Harry Shearer.
He does 235,000 voices on The Simpsons.
Sure, yeah.
He was in This Is Spinal Tap. He was in a season of Saturday Night Live himself in the early 80s with like Martin Short. And he is a legend. This guy.
Yeah, for sure. But that's why that I have to tell myself that. The reason why he didn't tweet you back. Because why? I don't understand that. Why would you say, if you're talking about this show, then yes. And then you go, well, what you got? And then nothing.
He's clearly a man who is in his 70s.
Sure.
And I don't think he does a ton outside of the work he does with The Simpsons, the voice work. So, I mean, I think because he got back to me pretty quick. And he went back and forth with me.
He was on the toilet and then saw it, and then he got up from the toilet.
I didn't tweet him back. I caught him post-wipe.
Yeah.
What a bummer. These Dale Pale Ales, look at this stuff. This is no good.
There's a lot of head on there.
So much head on these ales.
So much head.
Ah, boy. Can all use a little bit more head in our lives, am I right?
Amen.
Anyway, that's it for Twitter responses.
It's good.
Let's put 10 minutes on the clock. Let's talk
Bing bong.
about the entire plot of the pilot, the Chevy Chase National Humor Test. Blake, why don't you start us off?
I'm just now realizing that I think I might have been drinking too much when I wrote my notes. So bear with me. A voice changer. I've written down a voice changer.
And do you have any idea what that note means?
Yeah, they were talking. People were talking, and then they had to change their voice. So it was like this, right?
Yeah, it opens up with the sound of like a live studio audience, or there's like or a laugh track on it. And it does look like a game show.
Yeah, I did.
Right?
I read a game show feel, and basically Chevy Chase is like, okay, this is a humor test. Go to your TV guide and find your scorecard or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, to set it up even further, on the stage, there's like a long desk. It's a big half circle. There's 5 stations, all different people at each station. Chevy Chase in the middle. And it's, there's the voice you hear is Chevy Chase, but it's very high, like a voice changer. And he's talking or something, and then his voice, like he coughs. He's like talking about theories about humor. And after he coughs, his voice comes back. Like it's supposed to be funny that his voice was high. And he's talking about theories about humor and how there's
the history of humor
and dreams and how we process that, like we process sex or forbidden or taboo subjects. And then he coughs out the high voice, and then you're about to be subjected to a humor test that you'll need the following. Do you know the following things? This is on a little screen, kind of like he was doing a Weekend Update.
Oh no!
It says you need the official National Humor Test questionnaire. I think that's what you would tear out from your TV guide. The official National Humor Test blank piece of paper, which is silly because he says and then a common house pencil.
Okay.
I assume that all these things are supposed to be funny, right?
What I remember from watching this, because I watched this about a week and a half ago, actually. So it has been a while.
A bit. Oh, wow, that's right.
But I kept saying that to myself is, okay, that was supposed to be funny in some way. Like, I know there's like high-end comedy, like lowbrow, highbrow comedy, but like, some people won't get this because it's just like meta or whatever.
Yeah.
But I didn't think that's what this stuff was, and it just didn't. It was not going anywhere. Sorry.
No, that's fine. He instructs how to fold the questionnaire. He says there are points that will be tabulated throughout the program. Then he introduces Dr. Joyce Brothers, Jack Fisk, Pam Dauber, and Martin Mull. Jack Fisk, I assume, is a real person, even though he seemed like he was playing a character. But all 3 of the other people are actual folks.
Wasn't Joyce Brothers a sex? Yeah,
like an advice sex columnist thing. So he says we're doing a live telecast with viewing audiences in Dallas, Chicago, L.A., and then right here in New York. Or maybe they're in L.A. I think they're in New York. Anyway, this is the first question. Where did humor originate? Remember this? It says A, Germany, B, the song Big John, which I'm not familiar with, or C, Egypt.
Yeah, I wrote that. The multiple choice question.
Then there's like shots of the studio audiences shown, and it cuts to a pre-taped bit about the origins of humor in Egypt. You remember this?
Yeah, I'm trying to get For some reason, my notes are like out of order or something. So,
Well, you said you were triple wasted, right?
well, not triple.
All right. One sheet.
Yeah, I was one sheet. Yeah.
So they said the pharaoh who started it all, the mummy Sheki, which is supposed to be a kind of a funny throwback to like Jewish Appalachian, comedians. He says as a Roman senator, he had like one of those like leaves, those leaf hats, that's like a little circle that the Romans would wear on their heads. I can't remember what it's called, but it squirted on someone, like a squirting flower from a lapel. And so this is like one of the first jokes, he said. And he said, of course, they also had the dribble chalice, which was kind of funny. It's a big ornate metal cup that you would drink out of, except it would purposely make you dribble, because that was the joke. And then whoopee armor. I've heard of Whoopi Goldberg, but whoopee armor. And then phony dragon duty.
I wrote dragon duty down.
Okay. Do you want me to just carry this part of the show?
You know what? You do that, and I'll just interject. I think.
Okay, I'll keep it moving. That's fine. And then it goes to another Actually, it looked live, but it may have been. I think it was. I'll say it's live. And he's talking about the pilgrims. He's walking through, basically walking in the dark through different like sets that are spotlight.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he gets to a thing where it's a bunch of pilgrims. It seems like they're at dinner. Maybe it's Thanksgiving. I know. Harry Shearer is one of the pilgrims. And then a Native American comes in and delivers corn. And they're like, oh, we love this corn. And they start to bite it, and it's rubber. And then that's the joke, that they're eating rubber corn. And they're like, this is a joke. You played a joke on us. There's a fake commercial, one of several, for
gull oil.
It's gull oil thinning out wildlife for humans. So I assume this meant like
slaughtering seagulls for their lard.
We're talking about like for their lard. I thought it was more like a comment on like oil pollution and spills in the ocean and how it kills wildlife.
Could be.
Don't try to do like serious comedy in the middle of this fucking bullshit, right?
And then we have the Great Hall of Jokes. Is that next?
Yeah, it's like a big warehouse where they keep every joke ever made.
It's like on microfiche, and it's it's very lit up in there. It's very white, and there's just all this stuff.
It's a huge space, and they said we used to have rows and rows and stacks and aisles of
every
books
joke ever made
written down. But now technology in 1979 is such that we can get all those jokes that took up all this space onto one little piece of microfiche.
Yeah, and then Chevy Chase lights it on fire.
Yes, he's looking at it. He's like, I would love to be able to see this microfiche, and just need a light. So he gets out a flashlight, it doesn't work. He's like, hold on. So he lights a match or a lighter, and it burns it up. And it was
I wrote not funny.
It was a lot of hullabaloo for nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chevy looks at it with the lighter, and it goes up immediately. And actually, this part was kind of funny. After he lights it up, he says, I guess I should tell someone. And then they like, for a long time, like the guy walks away. Like, after he burns up every joke, the guy who was escorting him around the warehouse, he's like, yeah, I guess I should tell someone that you did that. And then he's walking around. He's trying to call someone, but it's just like, it goes on a little too long.
Sure.
But in that, it's funny.
I got you.
I don't know. Pam, Dauber, and then Chevy are getting comfortable in front of a fire, and like, hey, we should see each other again. Right? We should make plans to see each other. He goes in for the kiss, and what happens?
She says goodnight to him.
No, a door drops, right, like a sliding door slams shut right between them before he has a chance to kiss her, and it was a peep show.
Okay,
he was at a peep show. And so his time ran out. He didn't.
I think Pam's a little high class for that joke.
Maybe
I don't think
so.
She should have. That's where you get somebody like the girl from Baywatch.
Oh yeah,
Pamela Anderson. That's the kind of person you do for that bit. Not
get like an 11-year-old Pam Anderson at the time and get her in there.
I just meant like slutty.
I know. She's kind of
a hussy.
Yeah,
tramp.
Get a tramp in
Hooker.
there, a trollop, right?
Sex doll.
Sex kitten.
Yep. Meow.
You ever gone to a peep show?
Like a live peep show where there's like a live person, or like in the back booth where they have all the little booths where you can watch peep shows. Both. There's a difference.
Both.
One I have and the other one I haven't.
Which one have you?
What say you? It would be the little booth with the videos.
I've done that too.
Really?
Yeah, but it wasn't. You were there when I did it, actually.
You were there when I did it.
But like we didn't. It wasn't like you and I went in together.
You were just trying to make sure that didn't come across that way.
I wanted to be very clear that you and I did not go to a place that had video pornography. You know what? Remember? Okay, so we went there together, but not in the booth. There's a group of us went there.
Yeah.
And I remember
there was 5 of us. There was two couples and a person.
An extra.
An extra.
And then
in case somebody needed to be tapped in.
Yeah.
He's just standing there with holding that little rope on the corner of the ring.
Yeah, we had a relief pervert. And then you go to the guy.
I'm so tired of being perverted. Please take my spot.
You go to the counter and say, I want to watch dirty, disgusting, standard definition pornography.
Well, the easier way to say it is, I'd like some tokens, please.
Yes, yeah. But I actually kept some of those tokens. I have them.
Oh, do you really?
Oh, yeah. I thought that was rad. Because it's like dirty, fucking disgusting.
I didn't have any left.
Anyway, but I've never been to a live peep show.
I think that would be weird.
Yeah, I think that's what Times Square was before Rudy Giuliani became mayor of New York City.
God, he fucks up everything.
I know. Ugh.
I think for the difference between that and like a strip club, a peep show at a strip club is, there's like a glass in front of you. They're not going to even...
Social distancing.
We're not, yeah. Maybe that's what it was originally supposed to be.
They're onto something. This is that started around the time of the Spanish flu in 1914.
But I feel like a girl that's at a strip club doing that, she can get out at any time. I feel like if you go to one of these peep shows, she's kind of like in a box.
Oh, you think they locked her in?
Well, I think it'd be difficult to get out of that box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only way out is through the glass window from which you're being looked at. And you don't want to go that way.
No,
that's arguably worse than the other way you came in. And why would you go there to begin with? Anyway, what's that? You got to go upstairs. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right, I'll just talk then. So, let's see. Next, we go back to that big half-circled desk at the beginning. It's kind of the I don't know. It's where they go in between the bits, and they have little bits there too. And Martin Mull, he's there, and he's at the desk, and he's talking about Albert Einstein, and that he would do comedy, stand-up comedy, way back in the day when he was alive to relax. And they cut to a bit. And it's a black and white kind of grainy video of a dirty nightclub, and who's on stage but Harry Shearer as Albert Einstein. It cuts back to Chevy squatting on one of the desks and falling off to close out the segment. So kind of Chevy Chase doing here what he does best, and that is physical comedy. He was, he played Gerald Ford back in the days of early SNL, where to dress up or to be a real person, like they didn't try to talk like them or they didn't try to really dress like them. Who was Jimmy Carter was played by Dan Aykroyd. He had a thick black mustache. Jimmy Carter had a mustache. Anyway, Chevy Chase doing what he does best, falling off a desk, the physical comedy where he falls down. I think he was Gerald Ford. Wasn't that who he was on SNL? And he'd always fall over off of Christmas trees and what have you. Anyway, next is a commercial for Rapid Technology, working fast to get home early. I don't understand these commercials. And you know what? Maybe they're not for me to understand. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think they were. We've seen those like spoof commercials.
Oh yeah.
They never really give me all I need.
And you got Chevy in an office behind a desk, dressed as a doctor, and he talks about the human brain and if there is like a humor portion of the brain. And he starts to pull out this brain apart. It's like a model of a brain.
It's
but
a piece of cauliflower.
I was going to say, it's pretty clearly a piece of cauliflower for sure. So he's like, let's see what happened to the laugh nodule. And then they look into it, and it goes to like a different segment, but it's like a clown turning pages of a book for a chihuahua, and then a phone rings unanswered in the back. It's a very abstract, very absurd comedy dell'arte, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for sure. I all through this, I thought to myself, to me, this is a guy who wants to get out of his contract and is just blowing it.
We got to save that for the segment where you hate this show.
Sorry,
but no, I think you're probably onto something. Then Chevy goes to another pre-tape bit where he goes to the First Nation Funny Bank, and Harry Shearer is the bank president. And then like Chevy keeps sneezing when he goes in and losing points. This I thought was kind of funny. It's an on again, off again attempt to keep in line with like the points you are getting or receiving as being part of this national humor test. But as he's going into this bank, he keeps sneezing, and so it shows points being deducted, which it's all nonsense.
I don't
right?
remember any of this.
I mean, again, you were intoxicated, so how could you, right?
Well, when the stuff I write, like I know where you're at, and I wrote checks, vomit, paper, weight.
Yeah.
Is that not? Am I?
No, that's in there.
Okay.
Let's see what else happened. Yeah, so they're like, let's mix funny with money, and they stand up comedy while people are in line at the bank. There's trick pens at the bank, funny checks. There's a man deciding which check to get, a vomit paperweight as a gift.
Okay.
Like they give that, back in the day, like you sign up an account, we'll get a toaster.
Yeah.
Right. Except they give you a bank that's like full of vomit. Anyway, or a paperweight rather. They said there's celebrity loan officers like Milton Berle, and he's doing jokes about Asians to Asians, which they don't understand. A lot of well, I mean, there's some cringy stuff. You gotta put your mind back then. But it is not PC at all. And Joyce Brothers takes us out of the bit into a commercial, and then they said we'll be back with the test standings, and this goes on for a bit.
Is this the where him and Pam end up making out on her couch?
Yeah, when they come back to that, Chevy Chase goes to like this research facility for like comedy or whatever. And the laugh track has fallen out of this segment for some reason. There's no laugh track. It's very bizarre where they decide to put the laugh track and where they don't. Anyway, he meets up with Dr. Joyce Brothers and Pam Dauber.
Something about sex appeal.
Yep, sex appeal and comedy, how the two relate. Which is the only reason I've ever had sex with a woman in my life is due to this. So they're absolutely onto something.
Because you're funny,
right?
Okay. You're funny. That's the only reason women would ever have sex with you.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know why are you saying it like that?
I'm just clarifying to the listeners what you were talking about.
Okay. I feel like you're disputing that fact.
No,
if you take that away from me right now,
you have nothing.
I have nothing.
Nothing.
I've got nothing.
You just got a lot of flannels.
And
hey, what's up? Are you off the flannels? You're a very like two-shirt long. Like not a sweater, but
this is a sweater.
Yeah. You're more of a sweater guy this year.
I'll wear a sweater next time I see you.
No, I want you to wear a flannel next
Stop
time.
yelling at me.
Is it 10 minutes up?
Sure, we'll cut it there. Yeah, let's just cut it there. It's fine.
It's just...
Please remain seated as we
I feel like you're doing a lot of work, but I do have a lot to say about this.
Well, this is the part of the program where we ask questions such as, why didn't this show work? And you have things to say about that?
Well, I kept waiting for this to end as one of those ones. It wasn't funny.
And it wasn't even that long.
It wasn't, and that's what really bothered me is it wasn't even a chuckle or two, and it seemed to me like he was arrogant with like people are going to laugh at this because I just
because I'm staring into the camera and I'm smirking.
There was no point to it. It wasn't a game show. They didn't incorporate the whole test thing right. It was like how can we put a bunch of bits together? Oh, let's put them under the blanket that we're taking a humor test. Did you feel that at all? Or do you think they did a good job of making it?
I think they were looking for a way to have a theme and a way to tie together all the bits. And maybe use pre-existing ideas for their sketches in between, but a way to tie them all together. And the way they saw how to do that was to have, like, under the guise of a humor test. Okay. That's what I think.
Did I close the garage door? Okay.
Who cares?
I do. There's a lot of.
No one's coming in here.
There's a lot of.
Pekin's the safest town in the union. What would you do to improve this program?
I really think that I would. I would make it more cohesive. In my opinion, it was kind of all over the place. It didn't really have like, is this a game show? Is this there was no continuity in my opinion. I didn't feel any continuity.
The test does work like a game show almost, and you are the contestant watching at home. So there's no real prizes. There's no real calculating of points. You're left to your own devices when doing this. So therein lies the joke, or what they're having fun with, is that they're in control of this game show that's not really happening. It's just they're just kind of throwing out ideas and points and willy-nilly. It's like the precursor to At Midnight with Chris Hardwick. But I strongly suspect that the At Midnight was funnier than this, even though maybe it wasn't. I never saw it. Where would this go if it survived? Would you see a game show every week? Would it be a test every week?
Well, it would have to be a humor test every week, right?
It's named that.
Right.
It's named that,
right.
and they built that awesome desk.
Well, but I'm saying you can't go like. You said there would be a test every week? It couldn't be like, oh, this week we're gonna do funny math tests or something. I don't know. I don't see it would go anywhere.
They said it was like an NBC special,
Right?
And I think the first season of SNL was like 75, 76. So this is a few years removed from that.
He's probably been in a couple movies already.
Definitely been in a few movies, like I think maybe Caddyshack. And anyway, that aside, you might be onto something while saying I just have to fulfill this contractual obligation to NBC.
Right.
I don't know, but maybe there was an idea in mind to go forward as a program. But you really pigeonhole yourself when you call it the National Humor Test. You are having to test people once a week.
Right. You're having to make that part of all your bits have to do something to do with that.
It was an hour-long show. I think that if this were to be, we've talked about this quite a bit. If it was going to be a weekly comedy show, it's got to be a half hour. I think you could do something with this. If let's turn it into a real game show. Let's have a couple of actual contestants or celebrity contestants, and the celebrity contestants are involved in improv and or pre-tape bits. There is a way you can manipulate this.
Kind of make it like a Saturday Night Live, but a test thing. There's a feature person you're inviting over, and if you want to do these bits or these things, you have them during the week, taping stuff, and
it can only be a half hour though.
Yeah,
SNL does largely what is the impossible in creating 45 minutes of comedy 22 to 24 times a year.
Right.
That's impossible. And have it be every time you step away from SNL, you're like, there's one or two good bits in there. They maybe did 7 or 8, but there's one or two. That's really tough to do.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That's why when I watch one, if there's two bits that I like, to me that's a good show.
That's a success. And for Chevy Chase to try to replicate that in an hour fashion, which is a half hour less than Saturday Night Live, you can't even do that. Do a half hour.
Yeah.
Like a sitcom, but involve maybe your celebrity friends in some fashion, but in the way that it was presented to us, probably not.
Put lipstick on a pig.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we
It's
start
one of my favorite
That
sayings.
actually sounds really good. Did you come up with that?
Yeah.
You did.
You lift their tail up and put the lipstick on. Gives you a place to hit. What's going on here?
What's up, dude?
What is that? Oh,
Monocles.
thanks.
You doing a trip each for us with all the different plates of food?
Hell
No? Close the door on your way out. Get out of here.
Thank you.
Kid looks like G.D. Frankenstein. How big is that kid gonna get?
He's eating like there's nobody's business.
He's got bolts in his neck for some reason too.
He just like the little, he fell down. We had to stitch him up on his forehead.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah. Enjoy your Monocles pizza while I finish up the program. Good Lord. IMDb, out of 11 ratings, what do you think, Blake? People from around the world rated Chevy Chase National
6.8.
No, it's a 5.6. And again, out of 11 ratings, critic reviews, John J. O'Connor from the New York Times had said, Mr. Chase touches most of the appropriate bases, but with an underlying contempt rather than affection.
I can see that.
Yeah. Viewer reviews. This is so weird. The only viewer review on IMDb for this program was done on January 5th, 2021.
Wow.
Days before we recorded this. Incredible. And their comment was yick. 3 out of 10 scars. Chevy Chase always seemed ideally suited to this kind of comic narrator role perfected by the likes of Robert Benchley back in the 40s and 50s. Indeed, those bits where he's the anchor/narrator fare best in this odd concept. When he gets directly involved in the central sketches, it unravels painfully as he's just not animated enough. You mostly end up feeling sorry for the likes of Dr. Joyce Brothers and especially Pam Dauber, who riding high on Mork and Mindy at the time and more than able to handle her own with better comedians than him, seems to be there entirely for Chevy Chase to hit on or have her hit on him.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a surprise to see Christopher Guest, Martin Mull, and Harry Shearer getting writing credits on this, as to be honest, this is a dud. Though Guest's quick turn as an Irish Aran sweater-clad folk singer puts you in the mind of the gem that is A Mighty Wind that is to come. So that is a part of the show we didn't see. Okay. It may have been the same part that Hugh Hefner was in that we missed that was cut out. But it was maybe a little nod to that future role in the early aughts, A Mighty Wind, with all those Second City people like Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy. But I think he's on to something here. Yeah, you have a lot of like Martin Mull is awesome.
Right.
Harry Shearer, legend. Christopher Guest. Who did he marry? He married. What's that? The girl from True Lies and Halloween. Jamie Lee Curtis, right?
Oh.
Anyway, these guys are comic legends and writing. They're writers. Chevy Chase has a writing credit on this. That might be the
Problem.
core of the problem. Yeah. One more viewer review. I watched this program as it was televised in 1979. It was a 1-hour show, and there were several missing minutes from the video here. This national humor test was painful to watch. There were just a few excellent, funny moments in it, and all of those best moments were excluded from this video as uploaded. Yikes. Wish we could have seen the full. I don't know if it would have changed my opinion very much. How's that pizza?
It's got mushrooms on it. Thought I couldn't see them.
For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the
Name one vegetable you like.
Corn,
Name a second one.
potato.
It's time for us to rate this pilot, right? I'm sorry. I'm disgusted by your answers.
I'll eat green beans if it has little bacon bits in it.
Yeah.
And they have to be firm. They have to be firm green beans. They can't be like all slimy and withery.
Yeah. Who wants that? All right. What about a nice ripe tomato? You like a tomato?
No way.
I guess that's not a vegetable.
You couldn't pay me.
I'm sure. So, can someone indecent proposal you into eating a tomato?
Next time you see me at the casino, bring a tomato in and go, buddy, you can gamble all night. You can pick a bite of this tomato. I'd be like, I'll see you later.
I got this knife and some salt. Surely you'd consume this for X amount of money. 1 to 7 is our grading scale, taken from the program from the 1990s, accurately and affectionately known as Wings. We look at all the characters and we assign them a number. 1 is the worst score you can get, and that's the character Roy Biggins. And 7, that's the best score you're going to get, and that's a fella goes by the name of Brian Hackett. Captain Philip, rest assured, I turn to you. How do you rate the Chevy Chase National Humor Test? Go.
Yes, I couldn't read my notes very well. Secondly, I didn't remember a lot of the stuff in order.
None of that helps.
I thought this was really, really dull. I would say to people, don't watch this. Don't waste your time watching this. Mm-hmm. And I don't do this very often.
Uh-oh, what are you doing?
I've only done it a handful of times, and it has been years.
What are you doing, man?
This has been years since this
I know
happened.
how long we've been doing the show. What are you about to do?
I'm giving this a
Can't
0. I'm giving this a 0.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
I can do it. I
can't do it.
A 0.
Yeah, it was awful. It was painful. It wasn't funny.
Ooh.
He seemed very arrogant. It just, I don't know. I did not like it.
Okay, so you said you've done it a few times. The only time I can really remember, and I think I doubled down with you on it because it was that bad, was the Hugh Laurie Crystal Cube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It sucked. It was awful. This, to me, in my mind, this is not that. But this is that for you?
That's why we live in a Biden nation. You have the right to have an opinion. I'm not taking that away from you. I'm not going to climb up the stairs to your house.
I'm not taking it away from
break
you.
In.
I'm just trying to understand. I can have a civil conversation with you.
I thought this was horrible.
Wow, a 0.
0. Seriously, yeah.
It's not good. Like I mentioned before, Chevy Chase is an empty vessel, right? Wonderful comedic actor when given the right material, but left to his own devices, you know. What's Matthew McConaughey? Great dramatic actor. They say, hey, why don't you be in HBO's True Detective? It's the greatest thing you've ever seen. And they said, why don't you write and direct your own thing? He did something called Surfer Dude. It's got a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
It's the worst fucking piece of shit you've ever seen.
Wow.
That's him being left to his own devices. This is Chevy Chase being given free reign. He got some great people involved. So this is not a 0 for me. It's not even a 1 for me. This is a 2. It's not very funny. But Chevy Chase, given the right thing, can do well. This is 100% not that. I do not like it. With the score of your 0. Wow, unbelievable. And my 2, we close the book on the Chevy Chase National Humor Test, and we will never speak of that show again.
No good.
But join us next time when Captain Philip Ressisher surely eats another piece of pizza. And we start the unprecedented 28th season of an entirely game shows season and we watched the pilot episode of Crossword. Here's a little something to wet your whistle. An unsold pilot for a game show, basically a crossword puzzle played by 2 teams of 2. The game itself is on a large board. Each game has a title denoting the theme of the words will lead to. A player chooses a spot on the puzzle board, something like 10 across or 22 down, and then must guess the word from the clues supplied by the MC.
Wow.
I just copy and pasted.
No,
That was pretty. I don't know if we have to do the show now.
I was like, that was a good rundown of the whole thing.
Well, you can find the entire episode of Crossword by subscribing to Couch Pilots on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of your classically blue links in the show notes or go to YouTube.
If you would just put some punctuation in there, you know what? Make it like a crossword. You have to say each word, and then you have to say like 2 down, and then say it.
Now you're talking my language.
Then it won't be so difficult for you. I would think after 28 years of doing this show, you just put some punctuation in there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
You start
Punky Brewster.
You start Punky Brewster in that shit, I will stop eating on the mic.
No, I like it.
Okay.
I like you eating on the mic.
Oh, I thought you liked not having any breath.
Go to Couch
Keep your hands
Pilots.
up when you do that next time.
You want to Heimlich me?
No.
You want to put lipstick on me?
No.
Lift up my tail?
Never mind. Some people get that joke.
Go to couchpilotspodcast.com. There you'll find all the different ways to contact us. All of our past shows from episode number 1. I don't know why you'd want to listen to that, but you surely can.
Oh, that was fun. We didn't even do a pilot. That was just like an intro to the show.
We were pumping the prime, right?
Yeah, we were priming that pump.
That's right. Either is acceptable. You check us out on Facebook or I almost said Twister. It's Twitter.
It's Twitter.
Twister. You remember the star of that film was The Wind.
Helen Hunt.
Yeah.
I thought it was the star.
Classic 7.5 head.
I thought the star was when that cow just went.
Oh my god!
And who was the mother of the that they went and saw?
Cloris Gleachman. Philip Seymour Hoffman was in that.
Yeah.
Bill Paxman.
All right. I don't like Bill Paxman. I don't like when he played for the Bulls either.
He's dead now, so you don't have to worry about him again.
Oh, he's dead?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. No,
he died in surgery a couple years
Well, I don't have to worry about him dying for me mentioning his name.
That is a real concern of ours, isn't it?
It has become one, yes.
I hope Pam Dauber's okay.
I was actually gonna mention somebody's birthday, and I'm not going to do it.
Can I mention it?
No.
I know who it is. I think I'm going to say it.
No, don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Happy birthday to you. Call us at 910-PILOTS-1, 910-745-6871. Go to patreon.com and then work a 40-hour work week and then give us some of that money. We'll spend it. We know how to spend money. We're not strangers to that. Blake, anything you want to say at the end of the show here? You've had a bunch of different segments that you've done over the years. Messages of positivity, serial killer information, and the like. Blake's picks.
Hey, I have been reading a new book on women serial killers, and telling you what, you think guys are messed up. When women become serial killers, they are some messed up stuff.
When they become scorned?
They are scorned.
What's the name of the book?
The Women Who Kill?
Who wrote it?
It's like a bunch of case files. There's like it's like case files, like maybe 10 or 15
Women
pages.
Who Kill. Go to your Dewey Decimal System in the library and check it out.
It was funny because I got it for Christmas, and I was talking to Dee Dee. Every year on Christmas, we have a beer together.
Does Dee Dee still listen to the show?
Yeah.
Okay, I just haven't heard any comments from her. I haven't had any fan feedback. Whoops.
But yeah, and so I was mentioning one. She's like, "Oh yeah, I got a book over here, a whole book about that. Well, I'll send it to you." I'm like, "Sweet." So,
she sent that to you?
She's going to.
That's very sweet.
No, she's going to send me the book.
So you have
don't
it from
ever
her already?
listen to it.
So you got it already from Dee Dee?
No,
you've read it? Is it good? This pilot may have been rough.
Hey, I was going to tell about something. Since we're doing game shows next season,
a whole season of game shows.
Season of game shows. At the end of each show, I'm going to give you some gambling tips on a gambling tip on the end of each episode.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you have a problem, right?
No, I don't think
you have a gambling problem.
No, I don't have a gambling problem.
This pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you next time.
Love you, bye.
Awesome!